What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network, on the YouTube channel, on the radio as well, 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, and also 94.7 WCSX HD2. You know the crew, you know the squad that's up in here. Joique Bell, of course, former Detroit Lions great. Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion. We have Fish. We have Art as well. We're squad deep. We are live at Hall Financial. We're here in we're in Troy, right?
Like Troy.
We're in Troy. Michigan. Exactly. We're at Hall Financial here in Troy, one of the Giants.
Big D Energy is in Troy, Michigan.
Big D. Big D.
Big D Energy, that's right. We're here at Hall Financial, as we said, in Troy. And it's fitting that we're here at Hall Financial, one of the Giants in the mortgage game. We're talking to Calvin Johnson coming up at noon, one of the Giants in the football world. These two guys, Giants as well. And then there's me, guys. But whatever. Someone's got to steer the ship, right? I am the captain.
You're the captain now.
Yeah, El Capitan.
That's right. But we are talking to Calvin Johnson coming up at noon, A Football Life on the NFL Network. And Joique, you and I were talking. Like, there's the Hall of Fame, right? You put on that gold jacket. You're one of the best to ever do it.
Proud moment.
But then when you get A Football Life on the NFL Network.
I think I might have cried more than Calvin when he got that jacket. I was proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to see his work ethic. And I remember when we used to train together, and I'm not gonna say the story until he comes on. But I had a couple of stories just to see his work ethic and to see everything he's done to get to that point. And it's good to see that hard work pay off. You know, God-given talent, where him getting that gold jacket is where God-given talent meets hard work.
Right.
And, he never let. He had this saying. He even said in his speech that, you know, stay ready so you never have to get ready. And so he was definitely that.
Yeah, and D-Mac, look, you've been around mercurial talents as well in the hockey world. Calvin Johnson, mercurial.
Seen a few Hall of Famers in my day. Played with, I think, 12 or 14, including Jerome McGinley in Calgary. But, yeah, just to be a part of it, just a piece of it, and to know, I think what Joique said is so true to not only Hall of Famers but the elitists. It's the work that they put in. They put whatever they put in, they get out of it, and they're the ones that lead the charge. I know that in our dressing room, you know, Steve Yzerman was that way, and it was just Nick Lidstrom was that way. So the best of the best are the best for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joique, I'm going to call on you. You got to give me a story. Like I need a Calvin Johnson story. You went to battle with the man, like, I did. You know, and you know, like my favorite stuff was him dunking the ball over the goalpost, which now somebody brought up to me on social media would be taunting, which I thought was one of the coolest things of all time.
Yeah, I think they, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they banned being able to dunk on that because of Calvin. I think he
one of many rules they changed because of Calvin.
Right. Right. I think it was after he caught that touchdown catch against the Bengals. He caught over like 3 or 4 defenders. And we tied the game up, and I just knew we were going to win that game. I just knew it. We ended up falling short. But after he caught that pass, I think it was either that game or another close game like that, probably the Cowboys. He went and he dunked on the goalpost and bent the goalpost. And so they had like a 30-minute or something delay. They had to fix the goalpost. And I think they lost a lot of money with the TV time. So they banned people being able to dunk on the goalpost.
Yeah, absolutely. But Calvin getting that gold jacket, as we said, A Football Life coming up on the NFL Network. We'll talk to Calvin about all that stuff. Certainly some of the work he's doing in and around the Detroit area. And Darren, you know this too. I know you're Canadian, but you always talk about how you're Detroit through and through.
Favorite stepchild.
Favorite stepchild, there you go. But Calvin's a guy too. I mean, look, you know, played his college football down in Georgia, Georgia Tech. He made his home here. He played his football here, and he's another one of the long list in the Detroit area, man. It just goes to show you. It grabs a hold of you, doesn't it, D-Mac?
Well, it does, and it doesn't matter. I think a lot we see because of the success of the Red Wings organization, a lot of guys are either in the organization, guys retire here, stick around, you become it. But Calvin, and he's one that specifically said it in his speech for the fans. He was out there. We saw him out there at Ford Field get the ovation because it is about the people. You see what he's doing with him and Rob Sims with this primitive, how it's about pain management, and he knows pain, and it's about the people here in Detroit the same way that I feel that gave me so much in support that we want to give back. So, yeah, these are our people, and no matter where you're from. And it doesn't matter what part of the state, Joique's from the state, but, we are all together as Michiganders, no matter if you're from here or if you come and you make your home here, because you're accepted. And we as athletes appreciate that, especially in Detroit. And, that's the Detroit versus everybody mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to talk, obviously, a lot about Calvin Johnson here today. Lions and Bears on Sunday, which I think Joique is also fitting. Lions, Bears, Calvin coming on the show. That's got a symmetry to it.
It does. Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
Well, that among other things.
It's funny because, honestly, because in high school, our mascot was the Tigers, and then I played for the Lions, and I played for the Bears. So Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
You came full circle as far as the zoo is concerned.
It was the Oz. Come on. It was the Oz.
No, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the NFC North as a whole, a couple of things we learned about the different divisions in the NFL. The power rankings have moved around. One thing that I'm looking forward to talk about, the rookie power rankings. You guys know me, and you know I'm about the rookie contract. I'm about the draft capital, so maybe I follow this a little bit more than most. Are you guys starting to come along to my side of thinking, though, about the rookies, the rookie contracts, and that's how the key, or am I just, still stupid?
No, I was always there, bro. But it's one of those things is that we've heard about it, right? Other teams show us that it's possible. Right. But we, like what you're talking about is a little bit of a misnomer here, right? So, maybe you've let us on to a little secret here, Neal, that if you can get to the second contract with some of your draft picks, that maybe your team will get better. Ooh, that sounds very encouraging. So, no, obviously, and you look at Penei Sewell, no matter what happens, more reps at left side, right side, whatever, you have a player there. You look at a DeAndre Swift. And the rookie guys and the second-year guys is the same thing. I think that after coming out of last year, if you're a rookie last year, you don't play in front of fans, right? It's a different mentality. This is sort of – so I clump a lot of these guys into the same category, first year or second year. But, yeah, Neal, 100 million%, but we can look towards that now. We weren't able to do it in the past. Could you imagine if we hit on a second rounder? Oh, wow.
Well, again, I crossed the bridge last week with what I saw from DeAndre Swift. And Joique, mark me on this one here. Maybe I'm a little bit too excited. I don't know. But I've deemed it official. We don't have to wonder if DeAndre Swift can play. He can play. No. He's just got to stay healthy, as we talked about. But there's a hit right there. If he stays on the field, he can ball out.
The thing is for DeAndre Swift is staying healthy. I knew last year he could play. I knew he could play. He has all the tangibles. He good route running skills. Protects the ball. He lets the play develop in the run game. He has good vision, good ability to jump cut, find the holes. The thing that we need to see for him, staying healthy, and then on top of that, just staying consistent. It was times last year I saw he was inconsistent. Drop a pass here, drop a pass there, and I can tell he's maturing as a player because he's starting to become more consistent. I think they did a smart thing with keeping him out during the preseason and just holding him out for the regular season. So it's worked out for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Chuck Brewer would say, so that means you drafted the right players to deserve a second contract. That will be a good change.
And then you have egos coming to play as well, where they get a guy in, and then it's their pick, so they want him to do well, and they might keep him around a little bit. And sometimes, GMs or people ego would keep players around longer than what they should be. So.
Quick question for you, Mr. Ruhl.
Yes.
Thursday night football tonight. Ooh. The Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'll watch this one. There's intrigue.
Joe
Burrow.
Trevor Lawrence.
Exactly. I don't have to watch, was it Davis?
I
already forgot his name.
Davis Mills? No.
Davis Mills. Davis Mills. You're not going to make me watch Davis Mills tonight. There's some intrigue here. There's number 1 overall picks. There's some talent out there. There's some guys I knew of in college. I'll watch tonight, Joique.
You want to see young, don't you? You just want to see young.
No, I just want to see good players, man.
I'm watching any Thursday night game. I'm watching the game tonight.
Who's your number 1 intrigue? Is it Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow? For me, it's Joe Burrow. Because I think Trevor Lawrence we've seen it's going to be a tough season for him because of the team around him and stuff like that. So, but with Joe Burrow, if they can keep him protected, I think that he's proven to be where he was drafted for them. So
he just want to see the young boys play. That's he want to see the young boys play.
Rookie contracts, Joique.
Right. I want to see Chase, honestly. He's been playing exceptionally well. I want to see him continue on this track that he's going.
And that is another angle. That's a good call.
Yeah, and I want to see him continue to do well. I think this, when we initially made this pick, we thought this was a bad pick for the Bengals, but it's working out for him.
I would say people thought that was a bad pick up until halftime of week 1. I mean, people were
until halftime.
Yeah, because he needed protection. He was getting thrashed last year. So we really didn't think Penei Sewell was going to make it past that pick.
Right.
But as it got closer and closer to draft time, I kind of figured that, and rumors started to come out, and I kind of knew that we were going to have an opportunity to get Sewell here. So it worked out for them. It's working out for us.
It looks like the communication in the Bengals was through their quarterback. Hey, would you want to be protected or do you want your guy? And he said, I want my guy, because I think that maybe they thought that they had better players on their offensive line to fill in than what we thought from the outside. So good choice. Hopefully they had that conversation. But again, I'm a big Joe Burrow fan. I always have been. So I want to see him succeed.
What is it about him that you like? I like him.
Demeanor. Just like you watch him in interviews, you watch him, and even from college, being from the guy, the heyday, the LSU guy, he's just cool as a cucumber.
What was more of a G move than when he lit up that cigar in the locker room after the national championship game? That's what
probably sold me on it as boss. He's a boss.
I'm gonna tell you why I looked at him. I said, well, he's on Mount Olympus there. It's when he came out and they gave him the rose. I think it was like his last home game.
Yeah.
And he came out. They had the 3D camera following him, and just how he went out there, it was just like, it was almost as if it was an NCAA video game with the guy running out. I didn't think it was real. I mean, but
you know what's funny about that moment?
He held his own. Yeah.
Here, I'll give you guys like an insider story. Is there were athletic departments across the country and the communications offices that were like, can't we get some footage like that? Can't we set up a moment like that where we can kind of follow our guy out? And I tried to explain to the people, just put 75,000 people in the stadium, have him win the Heisman, your guy be the Heisman Trophy winner, have him be in the number 1 overall draft pick, going for a national title, and coming out with a $75,000 camera following behind him. And, you can recreate that on your campus. Sure.
Yeah.
But just isn't like through all this up and down success, and even through he's handled adversity, through the injury, you haven't heard him. You don't hear any moaning or griping from him. You just see him doing the work, and when you hear him talk, he has that. He has that Tom Brady.
You'll follow that dude, won't you?
I will. He has that Tom Brady-esque, but also too is the appreciation. See, and it's the bigger thing because the culture, because the way that when he went from Ohio State and he went to LSU and he endeared himself there in a year to the people, to the culture, to the Burrow when he come out for his. For like you said, that moment with it spelled in the Cajun way on the back of his jersey, that is embraced. So I follow a guy like that. So I love it. But anyways, what happens, Neal? If I wanted to bet this Thursday night game, because I think that the Bengals are going to roll, what would I do?
Well, it's pretty simple. Be it the Thursday night game, Sunday night there's a big-time game as well when Tom Brady returns to New England. You can get in on all the action with my bookie. Whether you're backing the Bucs or the Pats this Sunday, the Jags or the Bengals tonight, as Darren McCarty would like to do. The game's always more excited when you got some action on it with my bookie. Get in on the action and take this game to a whole new level at my bookie. Both teams are sporting top defenses, and nobody knows better than Brady and Belichick. Slow and steady will win the race on Sunday night. Smart money's probably going to be on the under. Don't wait around. Join MyBookie now and bet the biggest game of the season. Use a promo code Woodward Sports and double your first deposit. Again, that's promo code Woodward Sports to get double your first deposit with MyBookie and start your winning season today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a problem with gambling, call the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
All right, we are live from Hall Financial. What's going on? It's Art telling you about Underdog Fantasy. The NFL season is underway. You could still draft, though, for your fantasy team. That's right. Each week on Underdog Fantasy, you could win weekly prizes through their slick mobile app. You could check it out. It's user-friendly. You could also join a league and draft a team in minutes. Plus, the folks at Underdog are going to help you out. They're going to give you a nice little bonus. You put $10 in, you get $10 free. All you got to do is use that promo code WSN. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com or search them in the App Store. Back to Big D Energy right here from Hall Financial.
Welcome back. Here we are live. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports.
Big D!
That's
Big
D! Here at Hall Financial in Troy, one of the titans in the mortgage game. And we will talk to one of the titans in the football world, Calvin Johnson, coming up at noon, promoting his football life that will be live on the NFL Network coming up this week. So, again, happy to have you along for the ride. You can get involved with the show on our YouTube chat thread, on our YouTube channel as well. People firing it off right there. And, everybody's fired up about hockey, D-Mac.
They are tonight. Last night the Wings won in a shootout. Bobby Ryan with the shootout winner. Good to see. Hopefully he's vying for a contract, and great story, great guy. But tonight, first game, LCA. I know we're having people in the building. I'll be in the building, so it'll be exciting to see some of these young guys. Hopefully Mort Sider and Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin, the rest of the guys. So hockey season begins.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, I got to give you the update. I know we have a lot of hockey people in the chat, led by Tammy Chin. I will tell you, I had a fantasy hockey draft last night. I got Dylan Larkin on the squad, and I took Zadina. And I got him, in like the 18th round.
Oh.
It's put up or shut up time.
And
for both of those guys.
You put your money where your mouth is. Yeah, no, it's a big year for both of them, obviously, but I like it where you were talking about that's your guy. You went out and you drafted him, and you're going to ride with him.
Yeah, I, like you said, man, I put my eggs in that basket.
You just throw those eggs in there.
But, hey, power play one time. If you're going to be on the power play one line, I'm about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. An opportunity, and we talked to Chris Draper, Director of Amateur Scouting, and about the opportunity. And as a professional athlete, and it doesn't matter if it's hockey and football, Joique, it's all about opportunity, right? So you just want an opportunity to put yourself through that doorway.
That's absolutely. So I want to kind of go back into Joe Burrow.
Yeah, sure.
So when I became a fan of Joe Burrow, it wasn't even – I love the way he played. When he took that big hit and, the player kind of taunted over him, that he came back and just thrashed him. But he did an interview, and this interviewer, she had a picture of him when he was a kid. He looked like an out-of-shape kid. She said, when you look at this picture right here, would you think this guy right here, and I'm paraphrasing, would be a Heisman Trophy winner? He said, damn right it does.
Absolutely.
And so it was at that moment I said, I'm a fan.
Yeah, but again, it's not Davis Mills out there. So I'm going to watch tonight. And I'm a college football slappy, but last week I boycotted. I watched pretty much the entire college football game on ESPN. Mm-hmm. I did it. So I'm not apologizing for it. You want to give me good product, NFL? I'll watch it.
So you have to bet on this game. Who you have your money on?
You know what? I mean, whenever there's unilateral sentiment, like there seems to be tonight about the Bengals and they'll thrash them and stuff like that, old Neal Ruhl likes to zig when everybody else is zagging, D-Mac.
So does
as
Vegas.
long as I'm getting the hook.
So does Vegas. As long as you're getting – speak to the people
hook.
about the hook. Speak about how important the hook is. Looking for Joique, because that half –
So, yeah, this will be a constant running theme this year with Joique Bell, my man. We're getting them educated in
the betting world.
Right, in the betting world.
We're
not
live,
in the real world, in the betting world.
In the betting world. We're live at Hall Financial, but it is the MyBookie studio no matter where we are. So, Joique, I do have to tell you that. So the hook means tonight the Jaguars are a 7.5-point underdog. Okay? Mm-hmm. Bengals are favored by 7.5. Whether it's 7.5, 3.5, 3.5, they call that half point the hook because 3 or 7, that's kind of like a standard margin of victory. You know what I'm saying? Like usually it's like a field goal game or a touchdown game.
Right.
When you get that hook, that makes it you're getting in essence an extra score. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Bengals score and it's 7-0, you're still winning because you got the hook.
Gotcha.
Feel me?
Gotcha. Okay.
So the hook can be a devastating. It can be a great ally, and it can be a devastating. That's why
Like
when
playing
you
a
mention, sometimes you'll say buy the hook, right? Buy the hook, and you're like, what is buy the hook? It means buy the half point. So you take it from a 7 to a 6.5 if you wanted the favorite. So if your team won by the 7 touchdown, you would win, right? That costs you the extra juice.
Yeah.
So that's another conversation. But
you ever play blackjack at the casino?
he doesn't gamble, bro.
You played blackjack.
I played
You played blackjack before.
Blackjack
You know
and
with
crap.
how they offer insurance. You know on the
On the ace, if the dealer's ace is up, there's a card. You know.
All right, we're hey Joique, we're getting there. We got a long run ahead of us.
I'm poker.
I got a long contract.
You know, I do poker a little. I play poker. Now that's Texas Hold'em. That's kind of where I draw the line. You know, craps, Texas Hold'em, and I play a little blackjack. Yeah, but that insurance. I don't
Well, it's in craps. It's like taking the odds on the 6 or the 8, right? You're taking the odds on it coming in. The odds on the 5 and the 9 are more, or you get paid more because they're less chance to come out. So it's like buying the odds and giving yourself more of a chance.
I got you.
I'll roll them bones.
Okay.
I'll roll the bones.
You roll the bones?
I'll roll the bones, no doubt. It's funny. I'll give you guys a quick story about that. So usually I shoot from the dark side.
Okay.
I bet against myself.
Oh,
I
seriously?
bet on myself to lose. Yeah,
It's
it's crazy.
Some
People
of the
don't
most
like it.
successful
That
craps
sounds
players
like
or
art.
don't players.
All right, do you bet on yourself to lose?
Just in life.
Just in life?
My God.
He's doing good in life. All right, you're doing pretty good in life. I'm not. I'm
I just don't understand why. Like, why? Why? I should have stayed home today. I should have. I should have slept in.
Listen, you only have one more day, then you have the weekend off. Relax.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Yeah. And then you go home, you can deal with your wife and kids.
Yeah. Then I'll be begging to go back
At
to
least you
work.
got a new watch.
Yeah. A new
You
watch.
should buy the hook when you get home.
Yeah. Thank you.
Can you buy the hook at the house?
Hey, you can't give him a hook, and you don't know what he'll do with
You
it.
don't give him any hooks. Next thing you know, more alimony.
He
child
really won't be here
support.
next week.
Machiavelli sucks to go says somehow casinos find ways to cheat on blackjack, I believe. I mean, it just comes out to math. You know, it's like all the
Counting
other
cards.
Yeah.
Is it illegal to count cards?
It's not illegal,
It's
but
not illegal.
they
It's frowned
can-
upon.
It's frowned
It's
upon.
Frowned
It's not
upon.
illegal. It's not illegal. Did you ever see the movie 21?
Yes.
With was that Lawrence Fishburne, and he was like the
The MIT guy.
security.
That's a
He
true.
was-
They got $7 million out of MIT. Got $7 million out of their blackjack team.
It is illegal though. Like coming from a previous experience, it's illegal. You can't count cards.
No, it's not illegal.
D-Mac, you don't know how much time I've served. Okay, it's illegal. Just let me. I've been in a couple of tribal jails. It is not fun. It's illegal. So.
It's not illegal.
But here you're saying that's a different rules. If you're
Oh,
saying
yeah,
on the-
tribal is different from yes.
So don't. We're talking. We were
Oh,
talking
okay.
about.
You're talking
government
about like the
casinos.
Trump-owned casinos.
What are you
yeah.
talking? You're talking about the card game down in the back basement. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different rules everywhere. Art. Come on, man.
House rules, man.
Look at
Relax.
the law
I
fall
do know
from
that
Flint
house
Town.
rules.
Just
It's like playing
spitting
Uno.
up. That rules
Every
don't
house
apply.
has its own rules.
Listen, I will say in Flint Town, people have lost limbs over counting cards. That's all that I'll say.
I'm gonna
You know.
tell you this. It's like playing Uno. Every house has its own rules.
That is
rule
true.
breaker.
Well, and they're entitled to those rules, I guess you could say.
In their own house.
Yeah, absolutely. But Joique, we'll get you going on the betting lingo. I feel like we're growing every week. Do you feel like you're getting it more and more?
I have to start. I have to get into. I have to place my first bet, and then we'll go from there. Because I see friends, they'll go in there, they'll place like a $5,000 bet or a $3,000 bet, and they come out. You know, I saw a friend, they placed a bet for $3,000, and they won $12,000. I said, interesting.
that
that's
grabs
a
your
different.
attention.
Tell them that's a different hook. That's hooked in.
Yeah.
That's
This
doesn't
is
always
past
happen.
weekend. And this past weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know what they betted on.
That sounds like a
But they-
parlay.
Parlay action.
Parlay action.
Parlay's a sucker's bet, though, Joique.
Sounds like a 3-team parlay. They took a good underdog and 2 favorites.
Yeah. Speaking from a math perspective, and you're a big math guy.
In the way that D-Mac is looking into the abyss as he says that.
I've been there. That's me looking off, going, that's me having flashbacks and trying not to.
Hey, just I'm gonna make my first bet with you, Neal. You tell me what to bet on. I'll go bet on my bookie with you.
Hey, tomorrow
The Get
At the end of the
Right
show, the Get Right
Special.
Special. I got a good one for you guys.
Are you betting tonight on the game?
No, I don't do that stuff.
You don't?
No.
Okay, good. 'Cause I don't have to do it. I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank goodness.
Yeah. No, I don't do that stuff.
No
I can
peer pressure.
advise you, you
No.
know, as far as what to do, no doubt.
Okay.
But I don't do that stuff.
No. If I put up 100, you're putting up 100.
Well, then I'll have to go to DMAC.
I think, hey, dude, it sounds like I got to put in 100 too. I mean, the way that
I'm
Joyce
tell
said
you right
that.
now, one thing I learned in business: if they don't have skin in the game, don't do business with them. So I can't
Well,
take
that's
your
it.
advice. You don't got no skin in the game.
Well, then I'll have to go like the NASCAR route or the MMA route or boxing or stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, I'm an NCAA employee, Joy.
Still bad.
No, we can't.
You can't bet at all.
No, not on NCAA sanctioned sports. Football, basketball, baseball, all that stuff.
Even in the NFL.
Yeah, even the NFL.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
Well, the whole thing is like, because I guess technically you would have access to inside information or whatever that is. But horse racing, boxing,
So
stuff like that.
Just have your wife go bet then, and then whatever she bets on, you let me know what she bets.
All right, that's fair. We'll figure all that out.
Your
Joey.
wife can bet, right?
I mean, theoretically she can. Yes.
Okay, exactly. There's always a loophole. There's always a loophole.
Yeah.
Always.
Absolutely. But we are live at Hall Financial in Troy. Remember, Calvin Johnson will join us coming up at noon. He'll be on to preview a football life coming up on the NFL Network. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what I do notice, though, about being here in Hall Financial is the climate, man. It's perfect temperature in this building.
Perfect temperature.
How could someone get in that line of work?
You know what? The temperature here is kind of cool. You know who probably came in? You know who came here?
The people that worked on it, I know where they probably went to school.
They went to Northwestern Tech. Have I told you about Northwestern Tech? Start a new career in the industry that's always essential, the heating and cooling industry. To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. I'm Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. And this is Big D Energy, the Gorilla.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked.
Back at it here, Big D Energy. We're live at Hall Financial on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, DMAC, Darren McCarty in the house on our YouTube chat thread. Chuck Brewer says, so Neal, you're telling us you're giving us betting ideas that you won't bet on yourself. No, not that I won't bet on myself, that I can't bet on myself. So
That's
that's
the difference.
Yeah, there's levels to that, which we'll talk about later on. But Chuck, I'm into it. DMAC can confirm. He gets the text at 3 a.m. when I'm watching the Hawaii game.
He's doing it. He is doing play-by-play color. So even though he cannot financially be invested, he's invested on his free time as the golden rule.
And Chuck, I would say it's even deeper than that because I'm emotionally invested.
And emotionally, and this is the thing where the advanced play that we talked about, where we get to a point and he throws me, hey, you might want to go double, middle of the other side, like take the plus 34 because I'm not feeling it. So there is this interaction when you have the membership,
the private,
right?
We do have to set up the
Patreon.
Private feed.
When you have the Patreon to the rule breaker, you know
listen,
he's committed. He's up till 4 a.m. breaking it down.
If you want this information, you have to pay a fee, and that fee is basically free. You just have to hit subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, there it is, right there. That's a good way to put it.
Hit a like.
If you hit the likes,
I heard
it helps the algorithm.
Yeah, so hit the like. So he's going to continue to give you guys this information. You guys don't want to miss out. And I'm really going to take your advice this week because you told me to. So when your wife placed the bet, you let me know that I'm going to go place
I'll
the
let
bet.
you know. I'll let you know, but I'll have the Get Right special tomorrow. Nick says, well, since Neal can bet on the ponies, they need to sponsor a trip out here to Baltimore for the Preakness. Nick, I'm trying to get out to the Preakness. I went to Churchill this summer, did the tour. I am a big horse racing guy. Like, that's my thing. Not to the level Maz is, like, as far as being right.
So my question is this. So say you place this bet, right? And say you win something astronomical, you bet 10,000, you win 100,000. You have to pay taxes on that 100,000.
It's income. Yep.
Is that what type of income is that?
Income, like any other kind of
So
income.
No, you have different. You have like capital gains. You have work income. You have W-2. Like
I would say consult your tax professional, Joique. That's the standard line. But yeah, it is income.
When you go to the casino, you're not. When you go to the casino, you win a bet. You're You're not
but
paying
if
taxes
you win
on that.
on a
Well-
casino over 1,200, then you get taxed.
You got the 1099 you got to fill out when you get your coin.
Yeah.
I never filled out anything.
Come on, man. You know the man's always trying to get something. But hey, what's
Said the man.
we haven't really
That's true.
talked about it a lot this week. But looking at the line, and Chicago hasn't picked their quarterback yet. But Detroit getting 2.5 plus 125. I guess where we're at is I think we got a shot winning this game preseason.
Oh, we
I
do.
didn't have this as a win, but I like our chances going in there with how we're playing, just the effort and the schmozzle that they're in. They're in a schmozzle over there.
It's
in
just,
Chicago.
you know what, for me, I just want us to play consistently for 4 quarters. That's what I want to see. And then whatever the score is at the end, that's what it is. But I want to see 4 quarters of good football, doing your assignment, protecting the football.
4 quarters.
It's
4
been-
quarters.
Continual
It's
quarters.
been, hasn't it
quarters
been
for
like
one game.
two? It's been like
Two
two
quarters-
different games each game, right?
Yeah,
It's been
like 2 quarters here. So if
why is
I would
that?
I would love to see, because of adjustments on the other side of the ball. You're going to halftime, you'll make adjustments, or you're going to halftime after playing bad, then you'll make adjustments. And so it's different things that happen throughout the game, because I told you before with Peyton Manning, defensive coordinators will have one game plan for the first half, and when that first half was over, they throw it in the trash, and they had a whole nother game plan for the second half. So depending on who you're playing, I want to see the way we played against Green Bay in that first half.
So my question to you, right? Because we saw them play Green Bay. Okay, let's start with San Fran. Not come out good, play a better second half. Come out good, Green Bay, not play a second half.
I would
like
say
how.
that. I would say they played a good second half of the third quarter and then a good fourth quarter.
But what I'm saying is that they've played good in the first half and then good in the second half in different games. So it's not like, we're coming out consistently good and then crap in the bed in the second half. They're inconsistent. What is that? Because the other team adjusted well, and then we did adjustments well for the second half. Or
It's all of that, all in one. It's all that, all in the one. Looking at our competition, also looking at the talent that we have. If you look at our roster compared to, say, a Green Bay roster, we don't stand a shot. When you look at
talent
position, talent to talent, pound for pound, they're a much better team. But we're winning going into halftime. Right? We're winning going into halftime. We're playing well. We're protecting the ball. No picks in the first half. Second half, we come out, and then we're not protecting the ball. We're not making the right decisions. We're forcing things instead of just going out there doing our job and just letting the game come natural. There's going to be some times you're going to go 3 and out, but not consistently, and not try to force a play. Just let the game come to you.
And when you look at the Detroit Lions, and one of the things, Dan Orlovsky actually put out a tweet, and this kind of echoes a sentiment, Joique, of what I've been talking about, where Dan Orlovsky said the Lions haven't got a lot of national conversation this year, but they have 3 pieces on offense that can flat out play. Hawkinson, Swift, and he included Cephas on there. I mean, I would say Sewell. Maybe if you want to take out. I know you're not the biggest Cephas guy.
No, I you know what? It's not that I'm not a Cephas guy. It's just I want to see more of him, because he's one of the leaders at that receiver group right now. So I just need to see more from him. And he's not playing terrible. I'm not going to say that, but I want to see more out of him. I want to see more playmaking ability, and I understand that he might not be the fastest guy out there, but he has some savvy to him. Like, he has a pretty good football IQ. He knows how to get open. He can make plays. I just want to see it consistently. That's it. Swift, more than he. At this moment and at this time, he might be our biggest offensive threat right now on the offensive side of the ball.
Because Joique, and interrupt you for a second, I think that's very important, because it's been proven that Hawkinson can be taken out of the offense. You can take out a tight end if you choose.
Yeah. So,
but at the cost of other areas.
Right. But exactly. So what happened was they started double teaming Hawkinson in this past game, and then they put DeAndre Swift 1-on-1 with the linebackers, and he ate him up alive.
Smoked him.
He smoked him. And so, you got to pick your poison. And right now, Hawkinson in the NFL is a bigger threat than DeAndre Swift, because he's proven, right? He's proven. Top 10 tight end coming into this year.
Right.
And Swift has to prove himself, so they're going to make Swift prove himself. And so that's a pretty good poison to pick if you're a defensive coordinator going up against a second-year running back who hasn't proven himself yet. But you've seen him on film. You know he can play, but let's make sure it's not a fluke. And he's been coming out, he's been producing week in, week out. And that's what's going to either help us in the future as far as the team coming out playing 4 quarters. Right? It's hard for a team to come out and play 4 good quarters consistently. Right? That's hard to do. And we knew that coming into the season, it was going to be that difficult because we have a young team. We have a new quarterback. He's coming into a new system. And so, yeah, I knew we were going to be inconsistent, and I knew we weren't going to go 10-7 because
there are no limos were coming by the Joique Bell residents.
I knew that because I knew we didn't have the talent yet in the leadership yet in order to come out and play consistently good for 4 quarters, week in and week out. That's not how this league works.
Joique was on the no 10-7 limo. There was no limos coming by. He wasn't getting an Uber Black. None of that. He wasn't even going to split a fare with someone else, even though it would take 48 minutes for a 10-minute ride.
Now mind this. I'm very critical, right? I'm very critical of the team that I love because, you know, they know this already. Yeah, they know this. And so, but at the end of the day, I'm always support them, and they're heading in the right direction. But the thing is, I just want to see 4 good quarters all put together and see how the end. Because even the last game, we didn't have 4 good quarters, but we played consistently, and we kept ourselves in the game long enough to where we had an opportunity to win at the end. We protected the ball, we made some good runs, and we fought to the very end. I can't complain about that.
Yeah.
We can agree.
And D-Mac, what about this? And just to piggyback something that Joique said, what I really liked about what the Lions are doing, and especially from the coaching end, I spoke my piece at length about the philosophy on draft capital that I'm 1,000% behind. And remember, I'm as critical as it gets about this organization. But what I really liked what this coaching staff did, all right, the Ravens decided we're taking Hockenson away from you, which we saw, and they took him away.
Yep,
they made the adjustment. They said, okay, we'll put DeAndre Swift on the island with your linebacker. You will lose that matchup more often than you will win that matchup, because the bottom line with pro sports, and I don't know if a lot of fans fully grasp this or understand it, D-Mac, even at hockey, football, whatever, it's matchup-based business. That's why the home team gets the last change in hockey.
No, you're right. And the bottom line is what I'm happiest about. Everything that you guys are talking about is execution, X's and O's, and learning the field, learning the play clock, learning to adjust plays, learning to trust your guys. But the one thing that is there that why Joique said is the effort. The 60-minute effort. Now, it might not be the right effort, but these guys are playing to the whistle, and that's what the coach said. That's what Dan Campbell said, that he was going to establish, that this team would fight from whistle to whistle, and they're doing that. And a lot of the things, too, is, yeah, they can do a better job at taking care of the ball, but a lot of these things is the mistakes that they're making are correctable mistakes, and you'll be able to see it as a fan. Oh, they're not doing that same thing again. But it's all, they're learning on the fly how to work together and everything. So that's why I think the effort's going to be there. And now you know that their adjustments are going to be there, not only in the roster, but in the game plan. And it's not just, oh, well, TJ Hawkinson's our 8th overall and he's our tight end and our big guy. No, it's not working. Let's go to this guy. You got to be ready. Next man up. And you got to be ready to step up whenever you're asked. And I think they're building that team that way, where everybody is that sort of important at different times. So, as Joique always says, is if you're always ready, then you don't have to get ready.
Yeah. Arthur Smith says in our YouTube chat thread, I agree this can be a good game to see if the Lions can play 4 good quarters. Many NFL teams can't play a whole 4 quarters a game, but the best that can are winners. D. Smitty says Detroit defense starting to play aggressive, need offense to play good consistently. If the short yardage and screens are working, they need to build the run game around it instead of forcing the run. And my thing with that is, D. Smitty, is this rushing attack for the Detroit Lions has been consistent. It's been the most consistent part of the team, in my opinion.
Yep.
Always right there, right around 100 yards, sometimes 100 yards plus. And it really is developing. And Joique, that's why when we started this, and you know this, when we were coming down the edge of the preseason, going into the season, my eyes were focused on that number 1, number 2 overall pick. I was like, hey, the year's a throwaway anyway as far as records go. But through 3 games, just based on the rushing attack alone, this Lions team is not on the Jaguars level. It's not on the Giants level. It's certainly not on the Jets level. Boy, Maz has got to be heartbroken about the whole New York state of football right now because it's looking grim. It is looking grim.
Sorry about
Grim.
that.
Alligator tears.
And for people who don't know, Maz is sitting right behind the camera.
Yeah, so anytime if you hear me inordinately,
Look,
ribbon
you just gave him a
Maz.
migraine. I think you just gave him a migraine right behind his eye. He's rubbing his eye right now.
He's just hungry.
No, Maz will be here with the bottom line.
All I gotta
Ryan
say
Armani,
is,
Braylon Edwards
hey,
coming up 2-4.
Karma, guys. Karma. I mean, you know what? Both of them happen at the same time. I don't know, Maz. Check it.
Yeah, his Yankees are battling for their playoff lives
Everybody
right now.
be,
Maz, right now, Yankees make the playoffs, yes or no? Yes?
Look at how reluctant he is. He's so down right now. Look at that. Was the worst. He almost put his head down.
Well,
but everybody check out today the bottom line, please, because Michael Jordan got Maz that from the Dean Smith collection.
I just wanted to give the state of affairs real quick for Maz. You know, the Yankees aren't going to make the playoffs. The Mets obviously aren't. The Knicks, they made the playoffs, but they got cooked. I mean, the Giants and the Jets. It's a sad state of affairs for New York football. I'll just leave it at that.
Jack Hughes scored a nice goal last night for your Devils. You're welcome.
There you go. There you go. Remember, Maz away. Braylon Edwards in the building here at Hall Financial as well. Ryan Armani, the bottom line. They'll be on from 2 to 4 here today. Now, it always breaks my heart when you don't have the machete.
Oh, but today we're at Hall Financial, and just let's pretend this is because I could probably hurt Art really bad with this. But coastportland.com, I've been telling you about it forever. WSN, 20% off. We got the do-it-yourselfers, the first responders. We got the lights. We got the headlamps. We got the machete. We got all the knives, whatever you need. Go to coastportland.com. Tomorrow we'll be on remote from a big boy in Warren, which excited to see. I know Neal was excited to have one of those big boy burgers. But I will be giving out #HowWeCoast, a $100 gift certificate. Yes, I still have some left, so make sure anyway you Woodward Sports Network, #HowWeCoast, and a $100 gift certificate could be yours tomorrow. Big D Energy, Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty here from Hall Financial, live in Troy, Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back at it here. We are live at Hall Financial in Troy. Really, if you break it down, the mecca of the mortgage world, certainly here at Hall Financial. They're everywhere you look. One of the best in the game, probably the best in the mortgage game. But happy to be live on location here from Hall Financial. Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house. We got Fish over there, Art's out there. We're squad deep up in here. That's the moral of the story. Remember, Calvin Johnson coming up at noon. He'll be talking a football life on the NFL Network. Certainly, you know, being a Hall of Famer, as we said, is big, but getting a football life, Joique, is bigger.
You know, you have all your Titans, right, that get the jacket. They get the gold jackets. And then you get the people who get the football life. Now, these are the guys that's Mount Olympus. They're on Mount Olympus. Right. Yeah. So it's cool to see, man. A good friend of mine who I've seen put in the work had this opportunity to see the world. The world can see kind of his background, his life. I wonder what he wants people to take from this video.
Yeah, well, good thing is he'll be here at noon, and you get a chance to ask him.
He'll be here at noon.
You don't even have to text him this time. You can just ask him.
Just ask him.
Just ask him, yeah. But he will be
hard to get a hold of. I'll tell you that, hard to get a hold of.
He'll be coming up here in just about 15 minutes or so. But we're talking Lions, Bears, and I want to talk about this from the Bears' perspective for a couple of seconds, because we talked about some of the circus teams that you have in the NFL, certainly both New York teams, as we said, the Jaguars, the Urban Meyer thing, the early return. The early returns are not good down there in Jacksonville. But this Bears team, and this year I told you guys I was taking some house money, and I was sitting down on Monday Night Football, and I wanted the Lions to drive a stake into the Packers organization and drive Aaron Rodgers away and really send them into the netherworld for a good 5 to 10 years. Now, ultimately, that didn't happen. They gave it their best shot. With this Bears game, however, a lot of the talk nationally is that Matt Nagy will get fired sooner rather than later. I mean, if you look at the Vegas odds, he's minus 200 to be the first NFL coach fired this year. With all that being said, you know, the silver lining I will take in this game, the Lions do not win, is that Nagy will still be employed, because I feel as long as he's the coach of the Bears, they're not a threat.
Yeah, well, after this game, if he loses, there's rumors out there, he might be released after this game.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
I never understood that, though.
And you're like,
keep him around.
So you want Matt Nagy to be there because you think that the Bears won't get better. Don't you fear what they'll bring in and improve, or be bringing somebody who might be the right guy?
Yeah. Essentially, we can compare it like this, and I'm looking around to make sure Braylon Edwards isn't here right now. I'm essentially an Ohio State Buckeye fan about Harbaugh.
Wait. Why were you worried about saying that in front of?
Well, because, you know.
What's he going to do?
Because he'll say, be quiet, Neal, and I'll be quiet. But when he leaves, I'll be talking again.
Save for your show.
No, but with all that being said, I kind of feel like an Ohio State fan about Harbaugh, about how I am as a Lions fan about Nagy. I don't feel them to be a threat as long as he's there.
Oh.
Yeah, but also, too, is that I would like to see them win or whatever. But you have, I think, to your point about driving the stake in Green Bay, it's hard. We have an opportunity to put the Bears either back or forward. I'd rather us win, him get fired, and see if this scenario
plays out.
You know, I'm not afraid to say, hey, Neal, you're right. That was probably not a good win. But I'm willing to do that, because here's the thing: we don't worry about what other teams are doing.
Sure.
We got to worry about what the Lions are doing, and I think we can all agree is what the Lions are doing on and off the field. They're at least making the adjustments, or it looks like they're making the changes that they need to for the future, for the 34 games. When they get off the 34-game plan, right, or it seems they're ahead or whatever like that, I'll let you know. But I think a win in Soldier Field against the Bears goes further for our organization than what the Bears falling backwards and who could they hire, right? Like that.
No doubt. But it's fun to talk about.
I know it is, but I'm more interested in a win, because I think that if we see the consistency Joique's talking about, if we see them continue to do that, make the adjustments when they're taking Hawkinson away, go to Swift, whatever like that, take care of the ball. I think it helps us, because we're building confidence with the effort.
We are. I'm still kind of stuck on that Ohio State reference you referred to earlier.
Well, it's not what we think, Joique. It's what we know.
I mean, we're ranked number 14 now, but we came into the season not ranked, right?
No, but you're saying if you're Ryan Day, as the coach of Ohio State, you're looking at Michigan, and I'll say it because I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm more worried about what Mel Tucker's building in Michigan State as far as culture. But in saying
I like Tucker.
Harbaugh's it's different out of Michigan this year, but we will see. But
is
coming
it?
out, but
what is
but is it right? We'll wait and see. But
you know what?
That seems like that's.
When we talked about
Ryan
this in the
Day,
past.
right?
When we talked about this in the past, what we talked about was we have to wait. After week one, we said we have to wait because everyone they're going to thrash on here, so we have to wait till they get to Wisconsin, Nebraska game. So we have Wisconsin on this upcoming Saturday. We see what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk more about that.
We'll talk more about it later.
Weekend.
We'll know more after this weekend. We can sit back. We can kind of harp on it a little bit, but it's a new Wolverines. It's a new Wolverines.
Man,
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
But no, we were talking about the Bears. They don't have a first-round pick next year either. The Giants have their first-round pick. So, it could get late early for this Bears franchise real quick with a loss this week.
Good. And we start clawing our way out the division.
So at what point?
Khalil Mack's north of 30. They gave up a lot for him.
So at what point do we stop saying, "Oh, we gotta let this coach go"? That we start taking some of this blame and we put it towards the GM. When? At what point?
That's always the question.
Because last time I looked, the GM brought in the last two coaches there. I mean, he selected these coaches. When do we say, you know what, Jim, listen, your direction hasn't been what we wanted. We have to move on. Like, at what point do you do that?
And that's why I think the Lions are walking in again with a little house money here, because the Bears, they fall to 1-3. with all the questions at the quarterback spot and all the questions about, the coaching staff and are they going to be employed, are they going to be fired, that does that help you fly under the radar, Joique? Like when you're going up against a circus, and look, the Lions are 0-3. We like what we see so far, which is kind of tough to say at 0-3. But with all that being said, does that help you when you're going in and you know that it's a circus over there and they're on the chopping block? You guys just kind of fly under the radar.
No, I don't think that. I don't think we're thinking of that as players. As players, we're not thinking about that. We're just thinking about the game. We're thinking about the game plan. That's it. The game, the task at hand. We're not thinking too much because there's already so much going on. We don't want to, get distracted with outside noise. So that's outside noise. That has nothing to do with winning this game.
No, absolutely, and I do understand that. But I'm just saying that, it does help. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt you that it's a circus across the sideline.
Yeah, but like we know we're going to take advantage of it, but we're not going to take advantage of it at a point to where we're talking about that in the locker room. We'll let them worry about those distractions.
Pre-game or whatever, they'll be like this. But when the game's playing, you're playing the game.
We're playing the game.
You're playing the game. You're worried about your assignment. You're not worried about this guy or whatever.
What they talking about over there on the sideline. I got to worry about my assignment because if I don't do my assignment correctly, I might end up playing for the Bears.
Hey, that's it. Hey,
guys, I know, D-Mac, you got a little bit of a breaking Red Wings news.
Unfortunate breaking news.
Nothing against the Bears. I like the Bears.
LCA and the Detroit Red Wings. Jacob Vrana will miss 4 months with shoulder surgery per coach Jeff Blashill. So the fall he took at training camp the other day when he stepping on the ice set him back, but at least they're addressing it before it gets any further. And he's a talent, so it just if it's gonna happen, having it happen now isn't the worst thing.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if it does have to happen. Yeah, absolutely.
And it gives somebody else an opportunity. I was talking about Bobby Ryan early, but it gives somebody an opportunity to maybe crack the lineup that wasn't going to get a shot. Maybe it's a Bobby Ryan or maybe it's like a Lucas Raymond. So
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Darren McCarty.
That's it. Big D.
Big D as in Big D, Darren McCarty. Chuck Brewer says, if Detroit Lions are going to get to where we want them to go, they're going to have to beat all the teams, so who cares about Chicago and their coach? No, and guys, understand, I know that. I understand that. I was joking a little bit, but there is some parallels. Chuck also said, I'd be okay with Neal's comment if it came from any other team's perspective, but Ohio State, Neal, you're on thin ice. I feel like I'm growing an identity here.
Do you not understand? He did that on purpose. The golden rule breaker, it's a little stir stick. He could have used anybody else. He did that for you, bro. Just
these hands are made for killing.
No, but I'm saying, though, if the Bears do win, maybe it extends him. You know what, though? If they don't make the playoffs, he's getting I told you, though, this before the season started with the Bears, Joique. They gave up so much to get Mack.
That's what
he's
I mean.
North of
we
30.
Never really heard Khalil Mack trade was a bad trade or whatever, like on the others, but really did it really didn't pan out. And does Grooming
unless your goal was to get to the playoffs and get cooked by the Saints, and that was it, because that's all that's happened.
That's what I mean. So, maybe that's the start of the chink of the armor in the division with that and the Rodgers. So, I like where we're at with 34 games. We only got 31 to go. We're going to win the one this Sunday.
Get the T-shirts, man. #2023.
That's it for everything. For every single team. Everything.
So Fish, you still got us going 10-7?
Well, I guess technically they'd have to be 10-4 now, the rest of the way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of steam, though. There's a lot of people out there in our YouTube chat thread and social media and everything like that.
Wishful thinking.
But I am saying, though, Joique, there's a lot of teams that believe. They believe that the Lions can win this week. And I think, again, Lincoln Park said it best. It starts with one.
Did you just really do it? Well, for one, rest in peace to Chester.
Yeah.
Two, anyone who is still on this Lions limo, I will say it because they won't. Maybe they will. You're idiots. We're all idiots for believing, okay? I made the terrible mistake of believing. Now I have to get a tattoo because of it. I apologize here at the wonderful location of Hall Financial. You're an idiot if you still think they're going 10-7.
Look at that. Is Adam speaking some sense to
It's just accountability. D-Max says it. It's the why and the who and the accountability. I'm being accountable.
Is that Adam speaking some sense to you?
No. Adam can't talk sense into me. No.
I guess he can.
Okay, yes, he can.
Yeah,
he's been whispering.
He's in your ear now.
He's been whispering the whole time.
He's like
yes.
that evil. He's like the evil angel, and then on the right side.
I will say this though. I will do a prediction for the rest of the season. They will get 4 wins. They'll get 4 wins from now.
Oh, now they'll get 4 wins.
They'll get 4. They'll get 4.
Who said this at the beginning of the
They're
season?
going to win this weekend, absolutely.
Hold on. Who said they were going to win 4 games at the beginning of the season? Who said that?
I said that, but then you said 10-7, and I wanted to steal your thunder.
Right. So listen, his fire limo tattoo. I'll let him get. He can put how many wins they actually had.
So far, the date is October 19th, by the way. So I'll have a drawing hopefully next week, and we'll do it live in studio, and you guys can all laugh at me. We'll all laugh together.
Yes, it's content.
Oh, you're gonna cry.
Content.
Tammy on our YouTube chat thread. I can't wait to see the tattoo, and that sentiment's been echoed a few times.
Can we get, like a sketch of the tattoo before you?
Yes, I'll have that next week. Next week I'll have a sketch.
How about like a Big D Energy Twitter poll? You give us a couple of designs.
Listen, Neal, we're getting a little crazy. I know our fan base, and it's a little wacky. Like, they believed in the Lions limo, so I don't even want to know what they would think of like a great tattoo idea.
To see it, guys. Send it in.
Yeah, send it in. We'll put a poll up. Do you like this tattoo?
Wait, so we're going to do a Twitter poll,
Yeah,
and they're going to vote on which.
I'll decide which one at the end of the day, but we'll let them have it.
I'm letting Darren. Oh yeah, that was the agreement. I did say.
Yeah.
Maybe
not
Darren
my smartest move, and I've got a bunch of children, a bunch of people.
Maybe Darren will defer to the fans and let the fans get involved. Let's see.
I just hope that it's Darren on an edibles day, because then it's tolerable. If it's not, then it's like I don't want like a dry Darren. It needs it's just bad news.
We'll see, Art.
D from the 313 says, "Wow, Art finally matured from 10 wins to 4."
Yeah, well, the truth's coming out. That's usually Art exaggerates 10. It's usually 4. So
always over exaggerating.
Yeah, but hey, that's Art though. That shows some maturity. It does.
I'm proud of Art though.
I am too.
Yeah, I am. You know what? We have some special content coming to you guys that we're going to have after the show, but we'll probably present it either tomorrow before we head out. I think it'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what else would be pretty dope? It's lunchtime.
Oh,
going to PapaRomano'sPizza.com, order some lunch. You guys know the drill by now. You got a whole squad in there. You're over at your cubicle. You got some of your office mates around. Kick in together. Get a pizza, man. Go to PapaRomano'sPizza.com. The deep dish with the pepperoni and the sausage. That's always a solid play if you're feeling a salad. I feel like I'm in a salad mood again today. I think I would go the Caesar salad route. Personally, if it were me, I'd hop on PapaRomano'sPizza.com, put that order in, slide on through there, or as Joique would say, I pull up on Papa Romano. Pull up on Papa Romano, slide through, pick up that salad, and be on my way. It's lunchtime. You guys know what to do. PapaRomano'sPizza.com. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back at it here, Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Just a couple moments away from welcoming in Calvin Johnson, but the YouTube chat thread is taking on a life of its own about Art's tattoo. Tammy says that it should have Joique's name on it. And look, everyone's got a bunch of ideas. We'll certainly hash that out coming up at a later time.
9 Drinks said have Joique driving it.
just the one arm on the steering wheel?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I would like that. But Lions and Bears coming up this weekend, so we've been kicking that back and forth, and certainly we'll talk more about it. We're broadcasting live from Big Boys in Warren, so looking forward to that. New partner of Woodward Sports as well, so we'll slide through there and see what's going on a Friday. But again, D-Mac, you had the unfortunate news of Vrana, the shoulder issue. Is it a break? Is it a tear? What do we know what the the extent of it is?
No, I haven't.
It's surgery
deep,
though. Bottom line.
Yeah, surgery. When it says for 4 months, it's usually just taking the time. So something. It's more of more than a separation. There's something structurally done there. But again, when you have that much of a talented guy that you signed, and yeah, it's disappointing, but really it's not, because he's going to work hard. And you know what? We're going to find out. And I look at it, it's going to be a little bit tougher, I think, out of the gate for your boy Zadina, because he doesn't have his boy Vrana there, because as I was mentioning, there's some sort of chemistry being countrymen, and the fact that you hear that him and Hronik and Zadina are buddies, but it gives guys opportunities. So if he gets off to a good start knowing what it is, what can they do without adding him into the lineup? It's a lot like it has been in previous years before you traded for him. So gives other guys opportunity. It's unfortunate, but in the long run, it'll get it taken care of. And I know that Dr. Plagans, who's going to do the surgery, is one of the best. So,
am I being unfair to Dylan Larkin and Zadina?
No, it's a big year. It's a big. I think people are being unfair for the production that they're looking out of Larkin, because his role is more of evolving into all around and being that second line Stevie guy. Zadina, no, he needs to put 20 up. He needs to maybe 8-10 on the power play, but be that effective scorer that he represented himself as. And the fiery attitude that you saw about all the teams that passed up on him that he's going to go fill the net on is his attitude. So he's going to work hard to get there. So, again, you're not being too hard. I just think the expectations is Larkin's not your 80-point guy, right? You want him with 60, maybe 20-some goals, but just the effective leader that he can be. And he's the right guy for the time. So this is his opportunity, whether to step up and move into that role.
Yeah,
even more so.
And for me, it's just, I keep going back to that. I wonder if I'm expecting too much too soon, but I don't know what the answer is to that question. But we are live here at Hall Financial in Troy, and right now, as promised, here on Big D Energy on Woodward Sports Network, we welcome in Calvin Johnson, Pro Football Hall of Famer, former Detroit Lions great, and we're going to talk about the new episode of A Football Life featuring Calvin Johnson coming up on the NFL Network. 1 hour show featuring sit-down interviews with Calvin, his former teammates Matt Stafford, Nate Burleson, Dan Orlovsky, former head coach Jim Caldwell, and others. But Calvin, certainly appreciate you taking the time. How's things going, my friend?
Going good. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me on. Going good, man. Keeping busy. Just had a birthday yesterday, so the wife took me downtown. We stayed at the Shinola, had a good time. But
Shinola, that's a good spot. Man, that's a good spot right there.
Speaking of watches.
Absolutely. And Calvin, certainly we'll talk about the Football Life coming up the NFL Network, your work with the Primitive Group as well. But I know we have to discuss Sunday a little bit, and you had the opportunity to take the microphone there at Ford Field. And I know that was important for you to be there personally, because it always seems like, Calvin, through all your accomplishments, through everything, you've had this connection with the Lions fans. I know it was big for you to be there, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's huge. I mean, I love the energy that the Lions fans brings in that stadium, man. I've heard it, every time I step into that field, it's deafening, especially Sunday when I walked out there. But no, just to pay my respects to the fans, that brought that energy week in, week out, that meant a lot.
For sure. So, man, it's so great to have you on, and just everything we've been through. I think we got about 5 years in together, and we have many stories that we can't talk about on here live. But honestly, you coming back to the city. The city loves you. How was that like for you, representing the city on one of the biggest stages, going to Canton? Going up there speaking and listening to your speech, it was touching to me. But how was that experience to be up there with so many greats? How was that for you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Like, you walk into the room, we had the Ray Nitschke luncheon, and it's just the gold jackets, and you walk in the room and you just look here, and that's the guy, that I looked up to, and then there's the guy that he looked up to, and then it might even be the guy that guy looked up to, so it was just the levels, the generations of greatness and excellence there, just to bask in it. I just sit there and be quiet. I think the rookies were supposed to be quiet anyway, but I just sitting there soaking it up.
You know what? It was funny because I remember a conversation you and I had years ago. I think you were still at Georgia Tech, and you spoke with the coach. I'm not going to say that coach's name. If you want to say his name, you can. But he came and told you can probably be one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play in the NFL. At what point in time did you know in your heart that that was true, if you believed it then, or was it during your career when you believed that you could be one of the best ever play the game?
Yeah, man, I think, after my first year, I struggled with some injury there. And then I think it's my second year, coming back from that and having a big second year. Then I was like, okay, I could play here. I could really do some things. But then at that point, I was like, okay, let's get down to the science of being a receiver. Really, how many steps do I have to that? How many steps am I allotted, when I'm at the top of the route? And that might change for different depths. But getting behind the scenes and really focusing on the little details of the position like that, I think that's what really catapulted me onto a different level.
Talking with Calvin Johnson here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, broadcasting live from Hall Financial in Troy. And Calvin, Joique and I have this conversation all the time, and we go back to that 2014 team that went to the playoffs. And you were on a podcast recently, and you brought up the fact, you stayed in Detroit because you wanted to win a ring. And you guys had a historically great defense on that team. I mean, tell everybody, for you to say that is one thing. For another thing is you guys were close to winning a ring. And I know Lions fans, when they heard that at first, they were kind of taken aback. But talk to everybody how close you guys were to getting to getting a playoff win, to getting towards that Super Bowl.
I mean, we had the pieces. I mean, a lot of those pieces left and won rings in other places the last handful of years. But we had pieces on that team. And think about that D-line. Quarterbacks weren't having time to breathe. Think about that quarterback. Think about them receivers. Think about them backs we had. I'm just like, man, we had the talent that we were building to have all that time. And then, when there's the team was kind of deconstructed, and I say that, the D-line was gone, and that was really a big piece of that what allowed us to go on offense. They kept us on the field. They got us on the field.
Talking to Calvin Johnson here. Calvin, look, I know in the area you certainly have what you're doing right now with Primitive Group. We have Darren McCarty here with us on the show as well.
Yeah,
and Darren, I know this is I know this is your area of expertise, Darren.
Well, health and wellness, and I think, and you mentioned it, Calvin, obviously, and one of the things that we'll touch on is obviously the football life, and my big question is what you want people to get out of what they watch. But speak about the health and wellness and about how important it is, not only talk about it, to be about it. And we see more athletes. You're a football guy, myself being a hockey guy. You look at Chris Webber just announced downtown. Speak about it from your personal, just about how important and what Primitive is, and the health and wellness, how much to the fans, because I get it, we get it, that this is how we can give back. But can you talk to the people about how important it is to you?
Yeah, I mean, let's just go break it down. My initial start with cannabis was, just really on the recreational, aspect. But it was really when I started to apply it in different ways, from the topicals or even like a edible. But I think it was really the topicals when I was like, okay, there's properties to this that really relieve my swelling, which I was dealing with chronically. And I didn't realize that until I was on that dang dancing show. And I told that story, like my buddy Osahan went to college with him. He brought me a topical and I used it. I was about to quit the show. And then, from that point on, I was like, okay, there's more to this. Obviously, it's Schedule 1, so we can't do research on it. But when that time comes, we want to be in a position, especially like what we're talking about with Primitive, to educate and remove the stigma, and the way to remove the stigma is just through education. And to be able to tie in, a research arm to this, I feel like it really just, solidifies the reason for us being in this energy, and not in this industry, but in this industry. And that's to build upon, like you say, health and wellness, to build upon people's quality of life.
Calvin, what about that, too? Because everybody, outside the box is always the buzzword that you hear corporations talk about and stuff like that. In your work with Primitive Group, you said you guys are breaking down those stigmas. Everybody wants outside the box thinking, but, the stigma is always attached to everything all the time. It's not that easy to come up, to give everybody what they want. They say, hey, we want something outside the box. What you guys are doing in Primitive Group, as you talk about breaking down those stigmas, you guys are coming from outside the box a little bit.
I mean, for sure. Like I say, and the only way you could do that is through education. Obviously, I'm from Georgia. That whole Bible Belt. They're probably gonna be the last ones to adopt cannabis like legislation. But being fortunate and being up here and just timing so that it worked out, we were allowed the opportunity to come into this industry. And the one thing we said we wanted to do, amongst anything, is to build a culture. Of people that respect the plant. And not that we're just trying to make money off of this thing. Of course, it's a business. You got to survive. But we're just trying to reach the masses and provide a clean way for people, a clean alternative way, holistic way for people to consume.
And you can go to the website, primitivegroup.com, and check that out. But, Calvin, as we said, A Football Life, the NFL Network. Joique and I were talking about that. That'll be on Friday night at 9 o'clock on the NFL Network. And everybody that you played with will be sitting down. We get their thoughts on you and your career and everything that goes with it. And Joique and I, as I said, we're talking about it. To get into Canton is one thing. To put on the gold jacket is another thing. But when you get A Football Life done on the NFL Network about you, Joique, that's the big time, isn't it?
No, that's the Mount Rushmore, right? Of it all. And actually, because the Titans, I was telling them earlier, like the Titans, all the Titans, they go in to get their gold jackets. You can see them, and you're looking at them. But then you have the guys that's on Mount Olympus, they get that Football Life story. And you're on that, right? And I was telling them earlier that kind of seeing your work ethic and how you trained and how you were so diligent and consistent with your work, I was a proud moment as a teammate to see that for you because I knew all the hard work you put in. And I would tell them stories about 2012. We were running sprints, the running backs, wide receivers, DBs, you all run together. And so it got to a point to where you would win every single one. And so what happened was we had the team up against Calvin, and so what we started to do, we picked one person out the group when we ran that he had to give 110% in order to beat Calvin. I don't know if you remember that, but we were teaming up against Calvin.
I remember.
And but to see like everything kind of come to fruition for you was a proud moment for me. How does this, and what do you want people to take away from watching this documentary on your life?
I think that, just wanted to, for at the end of the day, just dispel any misconceptions, if there are any, with any reasons why, I left the game, and to share the story of what's happened, while I played, after football, just kind of just give my life story. So honestly, I'm nervous as crap. I don't know what's about to come out. I'm like, I don't even remember what I said. But no, I look forward to hearing about it. I haven't even watched my own Hall of Fame speech because I get tired. I hate hearing myself talk.
Absolutely. Well, Calvin, we're going to get into this Football Life a little bit more. We're going to take a quick break real quick just for a couple seconds. Come back more with Calvin Johnson. A Football Life will debut Friday night at 9 o'clock on the NFL Network. We'll be right back. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Welcome back to Big D Energy, broadcasting live from Hall Financial. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, D-Mac in the house, joined right now by the Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson. And Joique, we were talking about the Primitive Group. I know you had one more question for Calvin.
Yeah, I had one more question for you. I know you got into the industry and you're partnered with a good friend of mine, which is your best friend, all part of this brotherhood, Rob Sims. How influential has Rob Sims been with you in getting this Primitive group off the ground?
Man, it's been a something like a living, breathing thing. It's been our baby. It's been every day since for the last 3 years, just building this brand, building the culture that we're trying to implement. Those things, finding, being able to have research partners. All that stuff took time. And it took us, delivering obviously the same message and the same message that we deliver today. That we're just trying to be influential and innovators in the industry and just obviously create that wellness product. So we have a lot of awesome things coming up, but Rob has been instrumental in keeping the operations moving forward for us here in Michigan.
And real quick, I've been to their facility, beautiful facility, and I believe when I went, they were having kind of like an outing for their employees, everyone who works for them, and they were kind of sitting down, going through the culture and what type of culture they wanted to build there. And I was like, dang, I want to be a part of this.
and here's the thing, Joique, you can be. It's for everybody. Yeah. I think that no matter what it is, it's to facilitate the option. Yeah. One of the questions I had for you, Calvin, going back to you when we started this about Ford Field, talk about how cool that was, not only the reaction at halftime, but the energy when the fans had. It's been a while since we've seen Ford Field be able to pop like that. You know, I'm a wrestling fan. That was a huge wrestling pop. But can you talk about that? Because we share that love of the passion of the fans, right? And that's what you're all about. But speak about to the fans out there how much as a player we appreciate it, whether it's LCA, Joe Louis, Ford Field, Silverdome, whatever.
I mean, we have intelligent fans. They know when and when not to cheer. And they, I mean, when I walked out on that field, it almost felt like game day back in the day. You know, the energy running up from the field through your cleats all the way up to your head. You know, just that the hair raising, you know, effect that it gives you. You know, usually, you know, I'm, you know, a lot more focused in and not really paying attention to the crowd. But I mean, it was on display. You know, they were loud. And they were energetic, and it was a heck of a sight. And I was truly appreciative, man, because it meant a lot, you know, to come back and get that kind of reaction. You know, it just made me smile, and you know, it was almost a tearjerker.
and I think that's important because you're not the most I guess gregarious, outgoing guy, but you could tell that you were. Like, it hits you personal, like you had the feels on that one, bro, and I get it because I've had those feels in this city too, but it's just so important for us as former athletes to let the people know that, and that was cool to share with
100%. You're right about that. Good
Calvin
stuff.
Johnson
Yes,
joining
sir.
us here at Football Life on the NFL Network this Friday night, 9 o'clock. The NFL Network sat down with Matt Stafford, Nate Burleson, Dan Orlovsky, Jim Caldwell, Matt Millen, everybody that really was a part of Calvin Johnson's Football Life. And speaking of that, Calvin, you know, you're watching at home, you know, Sundays, Matt Stafford kind of lighting up the league right now with the Rams. What's your take on Matt Stafford and what he's doing now?
Awesome. Pretty, I mean, he's out there. And, you know, the funniest thing, I feel like that first game, I feel like I was watching the game, and I feel like I saw Matthew was like, at some point, it was like, like, is it really this easy? Because it ain't never been that easy in Detroit. So,
you heard it here.
Detroit versus everybody. I'm telling you, Detroit versus everybody. You know, we get everything out the mud here. That's one thing that's true. We get it out the mud.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Calvin, certainly do appreciate your time. And again, one more time for everybody, a Football Life featuring Calvin Johnson, 9 o'clock on Friday at the NFL Network. Also his work he does with the Primitive Group as well. And, you know, Joique, I know, you know, as we wrap it up, you got one more for your guy here.
I got this new thing that I'm doing, Calvin. It's called Keep It Live at 35. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You just pick which one you want. A or B, and kind of explain why. You ready?
I feel like I've been here. I've seen this before.
All right. I mean, it's going to be real simple. It's going to be real simple. Let me know you're ready.
I'm good.
All right. All right. Would you rather have Antonio Brown's football IQ, or would you rather have Golden Tate's yak ability?
I'm gonna go with my dog. I like Golden Tate. Golden Tate got some yak, boy.
He got some yak. He got some yak. I knew that would be hard.
Put baby oil on before the
game. All right, cool. I got one for you. All right. Would you rather have Steve Smith mentality or Julio Jones athleticism?
Steve Smith. I love him. I've always been a fan ever since. I mean, I feel like I was watching Steve Smith when I was in high school. But his mentality, what the dude's like 5'8", but he plays like a 6'5" receiver. You know, I mean, you got to respect that.
You got to respect it. That is true. Got to respect it. All right, this is the last one. It might be the hardest one. Would you rather have Jerry Rice fundamentals or Randy Moss dominance?
That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, man, I put it like this. You know, Jerry was a little bit before me, but I mean, everybody aspired to work like him. But, you know, as far as Randy, you know, I wanted to go up and Moss folks. I just wanted to dunk on folks, and that inspired me to do what I did.
It's so funny.
I'll leave it at that.
It's so funny you say that, because when you played and you catch, you know, passes over 3 or 4 defenders, we felt like it was disrespectful to say he mossed them. So we were like, we got to come up with something. We can't say he mossed him because he's on the same level. Huh?
He tried.
You know, so we got to come up with something different. All right. And so the last one was more of a joke. It's more of a joke. I'm not even going to say it was a joke. I was going to put you in there with somebody else and say, would you rather be you or somebody else? But obviously we know We know that you have football life coming out. So, thanks for coming on, Calvin, man. I always love having you on. We got to catch up. Let's have dinner soon. So,
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Calvin, I got one last question. Right, Neal read off Coach Caldwell, Stafford, Burleson, guys, Orlovsky that talked about. Who's the one that you're most interested to hear about, and who's the one that you're like gonna be sitting? There's got to be one guy that you're like
cringing about. Yeah. I think I'm cringing about Nate probably because Nate knows too much. He knows.
Yeah, Nate knows a lot.
Nate knows too much.
But you know, Nate's not going to do that to you. You know, Nate is going. You know,
I know.
Yeah, hey, Calvin, Nate's making that long network money now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you know,
you safe with Nate because you're making the long network money.
I'm gonna ask you this. Calvin, before you go. How proud of you? How proud of you are of Nate B and his accomplishment in the media? Did you always see this coming? I've always saw it coming.
I saw it coming because Nate aspires to really be the best at what he does, you know, and he was really good. He's really good at connecting with people. Obviously, he's really good at talking, but he does really well with his words. I remember I had him come to speak at my foundation. He was a guest speaker for that 1 year, and he did an amazing job. People will still ask me today when we have events like, man, you got to get that Nate back here because he did such a phenomenal job of just connecting with the people in the room. So, I mean, Nate's going to be up there Nate, he made that transition like no other. And I'm proud of him, man. That is awesome. Sure.
Absolutely. Well, Detroit's proud of you, Calvin. Certainly do appreciate your time, and we'll catch back up again soon. Sound good?
Thank you, guys. No problem. Look forward to talking to you. See you guys.
Calvin Johnson of Football Life.
Calvin.
Will debut on the NFL Network Friday at 9 p.m. So make sure you check that out. Set that alert on your cable box or on your phone, whatever you got to do. Make sure you watch that one. Calvin Johnson, man, one of the best to ever do it. That's fact, not opinion.
No, that's fact. We don't think.
We know. We absolutely know.
We know here.
But Joique, I mean, did you ever see in your football career the size and the speed? Calvin was a freak, man.
I'm gonna give you a story real quick. We're watching film. This is after the game, and I didn't see it because I'm in the game playing, so I don't see this play happen. So this guy comes up, and he presses Calvin he presses Calvin. And but I'm not watching it in the game. I'm focusing on my assignment. But we come in the next day and we're watching film as a group. And Calvin sits a couple seats over from me, and there's no one between us. And I see him take this guy and drive him back, and then throws him back. He drives him 5 yards and throws him. Guy flies back another 5. But he didn't get the pass through to him on this particular play. And I lean over because I can't be loud. We're in the meeting. So I'm like, Calvin, why you do that, man, like that? You know his kids is in the crowd. He said,
man's got a family.
Yeah, he said, that man's got a family. Don't do that. And he said, I guess you must not have watched film on him.
No, he was an absolute reason to come to Ford Field. I mean, again.
I got stories for days, man. I mean, one practice, we're in practice where he runs a crossing route. Stafford throws the ball. I mean, this is Lou Delmas jumping as high as he can with one arm, reaching out with one, and the ball goes over his hand, and Calvin comes over him with both hands and catches it just clean and takes off with it. I mean, it just plays like that you look and say, wow, he's just on another level.
Yeah, certainly the fans enjoyed the interview as well. Canuck Dave in our YouTube chat thread says this interview is a killer example of why more voices are needed in Detroit sports. Big up, Big D energy. Certainly do appreciate those words from you guys, and hey, man, that's why we do it. Juice's Ghost says this is a great interview, guys. Good work, and again, props to Calvin for coming on.
Big ups.
Good, he's a Chicago fan. That was cool, man. We brought him over. Attaboy, Juice. Anyways, different level. We know that Levels and Centerline is now open, starting right now. Get 10% off your order by just mentioning Woodward Sports, whether you're in store or on the app. Yes, you can download the app in the Google or App Store right now, Levels app. Mention Woodward Sports, 10% off. They got T Grizzly Gas, D-Max Max 69. Yes, they do. Edibles, everything on sale now. Download the Enjoy Levels app today and start saving. We are Big D Energy, Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. Be right back live from Hall Financial. We are Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Welcome back. We're broadcasting live at Hall Financial in Detroit's Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joique Bell is on his way back in. He's got moves. He's pretty quick. He's running through the hole right now, as a matter of fact. Look at that, bouncing, too. That was good protection on your way back in here. You always talk about it, right? Like shifting which arm the ball is in and all that kind of stuff, Joique. So. Yeah.
Let's hope we have ball protection like
step.
that in Chicago on Sunday, Joique, because that was really good.
Yeah, everyone's favorite line, I think, Steve said in our chat thread. He said, Nate knows too much. LOL.
Nate knows a lot.
Listen, we all got that guy.
But honestly, what Calvin said about Nate, how he can connect with a lot of people, that is so true on so many levels. Everybody I brought Nate around loved Nate. And I mean, you can put him in any environment, he'll come out. You ever seen Notorious?
Yeah.
You know, you put Nate in the jungle, he'll come out wearing a chinchilla. You know, he'll figure it out.
Yep. Figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. But we have been talking a lot of NFL football. Obviously, Lions playing the Bears this weekend. And you know Woodward Sports will have you covered, too, for the pregame show. We'll be live out at O'Toole's. This cat right here, Joique Bell and myself, will be out there at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. You can come on out there, win great Woodward Sports prizes. Jade from WRIF will be in the house as well. Woodward Sports, DraftKings, Jose Cuervo, and WRIF putting on for the city in the Lions pregame show, 11 to 1 on Sunday, live from O'Toole's in Royal Oak. You can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as well. And don't forget, postgame, we got you covered as well, as Stick and our guy Anson will be live at the Brass Rail in downtown Detroit. Jim Beam and Woodward Sports will be out there from the 2-minute warning on through till the end of the Lions game, a couple hours after as well. And you can come out, join in the party, the after party, the VIP area for Woodward Sports fans. There'll be pizza and more. The official post game for Detroit football is at the Brass Rail, one of my favorite spots in downtown Detroit. But again, Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCarty back with you. But, you know, this was made for us in this industry. I know everyone likes the NFL power rankings and everyone wants to talk about them and all that stuff. So, you know, we got to take our obligatory peep at the NFL power rankings, take a look at the situation and see what's going on as far as around this league. And I'm ready to make a concession. And I know we're only 3 weeks in, and I know this goes against everything that I usually say. But for the NFL power rankings this week, both Joique and D-Mac, boy, my Kansas City Chiefs, the ship is taking on water right now.
Isn't that they're not even in the top 10, are they?
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that a little bit excessive?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that a little bit
it's
excessive?
a little foolish.
Until they're 1-10, they don't fall out of the top 10. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't believe LA Rams, yes. Okay, they can be number 1. Arizona 2, Green Bay 3. I don't know about that. I mean, Vegas ain't getting the love for beating the teams that they got. They could have beat.
I mean, they got to go up the numbers.
Well, it all
water's got to level out, boys.
Joique, here's the thing, and anybody watching right now, and feel free to fire your comments away in the YouTube chat thread. If the Chiefs play the Cardinals, or the Packers play the Cardinals, or the Bucks play the Cardinals, you know, we're at Hall Financial right now. They're tightening the mortgage game. If you had to take that mortgage payment, and who are you putting it on? You ain't putting it on the Cardinals if any of those teams square up.
I'm going Green Bay. Now, if we talk about Green Bay and the Bucks, probably first week. You know, probably first week, probably the Bucks. But Green Bay, I mean, they're coming back. They're trying to put, you know, they're trying to argue that, you know, Aaron Rodgers might be back in that MVP race. The way he's been playing the past couple weeks.
Which is fine. Which is fine. And I do agree because that was a huge road win that they got. But the Cardinal stuff, and I'm a Cardinals guy. I like Kyler Murray a lot, as much as the next guy. But come on, man. I mean, you beat the Vikings at home, and you got to, by the act of God, that field goal was missed, and then you follow that up, you win at Jacksonville. Cool story, bro.
You know what? That's all true, but they won.
And that's fine.
They won. And so until they lose, this is what it is. You can only go off the eye in the sky. You can only go off your body of work. We talk about this all the time. You can't control who you play. You can only control how you play. And regardless of how they play, if they, get to the playoffs, and down the line, they're not going to look back and say, "Oh, they barely won against these teams right here." They missed it. They're not looking at that. They're only going to look at the score of the game. So we know.
Here's a great question from the peanut gallery here at Hall Financial, meaning Maz. Right? Look at all those 10 teams on the board there. Put those up art again. Who you not taking the Chiefs against? Right?
Yeah.
There's you can say the Rams, or you could say, but there's 2, maybe 3 teams that you're not going to take the Chiefs against playing these guys.
Listen, only two teams.
Nice question, Tom from the Shores.
And the
Tom from the Shores.
Yeah. Pete, this is Pete Prisco with CBS Sports, by the way, and. I see you working here though, Pete. You put the Cardinals up there at 2. That's just when you do stuff like that. I tune it out right then.
Yeah.
I tune it out right then because again, going back to it, who are the Cardinals going to beat that they're above? They're not beating the Bucs. They're not beating the Packers. They're not beating the Bills. They're not beating the Chiefs, as we talked about. It's not even in the top 10. That's tomfoolery.
I'm telling you right now. Will you not put the Ravens in the top 10?
I mean they're right there. They're right
right there.
They're right there.
They're better than the Broncos. The Broncos played nobody right now. The Broncos are coming back to earth real hard. If you look at the competition that the Lions have played versus and I know they got it done because you can't go against your play, but I like looking. I don't know. Looking at all those, I don't agree with it.
I'm gonna tell you this. Them putting those games up for the Denver Broncos early on in the season is going to give them confidence going into the future. Those games were good, right? But when you get that confidence, you walk a little bit, chest up, head up. When you're losing, you kind of walk around the facility. You kind of, you're just quiet, walking on eggshells. There's nothing to be happy about. But when you get that confidence, you're winning. It's going to give you that confidence to go out there and play against the better teams better. You're going to play above what you're used to playing.
Get trucked.
Right.
No, until you get trucked.
But
once they get trucked, then all that confidence runs.
I'm going to tell you this about the Broncos. Last time I checked, Curtis Marcus is still there. And one thing that he instilled in me when I played for him is that this is a league of men. And not one man is going to wake up one morning and be afraid of another man. You put your pants on just like I do. But going out there and winning early and getting that confidence is really going to boost this team going into the future. And that's a fact. Now, I don't know if they're going to win. I don't know if they're going to, get trucked and not pick themselves back up. But, if you're a winner, you get trucked sometimes. This is a league of men. It's going to happen. Are you going to pick yourself back up or are you going to, crawl back into your shell?
Well, I'm a little bit mad, though, at Pete Prisco with these rankings because, again, I'm going back to it. And I'm going to stay on this because this is the most outlandish thing. And I'm a Cardinals guy. I'll qualify that. Okay. I was a big believer in the Cardinals and what they're doing. But them checking in at number 2, next 3 weeks, they're at the Rams, they're home against the 49ers, and they're at Cleveland.
We'll see in 3 weeks.
Hey, as Drake said, we going to see.
Yeah, we're going to see 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Baltimore's in Denver this week. Denver's -1.